into their fantasy novels, where are the Hispanics? And that stuck in my head for like 5 or 6 years until the low end hopped out. So, all right, let's do anyone over here. We'll go right there. Yeah. What am I reading right now? I am reading Jim Butcher's new book. It is very good. In fact, I believe he was here at this bookstore, and they may have copies still left. So it's quite good. Everything I've read by Jim has been excellent, though. Before that, the book I read right before it was N.K. Jemison's book, Fifth Season, and it is fantastic. N.K. Jemisin, if you haven't read her book, she's like literary fantasy, and this one has a character whose viewpoint is all in second person, and it works. It's like the first time I've read a second person book that worked. Anyway, that one's really cool too. All right, right here.
So for people who are not familiar with fantasy and science fiction novels, what novel would you suggest they start off with?
Okay.
Secondly, people who are not familiar with your works, which novel would you suggest first and why?
Okay, the question is, for people who are not familiar with science fiction and fantasy, what book should they start with, and what book of mine should they start with? This is a hard question to answer because usually when I run into this, I try to talk to the person and see what they like in their fiction. Because the great thing about fantasy and science fiction is it basically does everything that every other genre does, plus has dragons, right? That's the definition of fantasy. Whatever you love from any other book, we will do, and we will add dragons to it. In Dynamic, right? It's Master and Commander, and everything you love about those plus dragons. And so, if someone is more on the more literary side of things, I'll find something more literary. Like I'll give them Ursula Le Guin, probably. But if someone's like a teen who just is like, I don't know what I like, I just like cool stuff, then I'll try and dig out one of the great teen books, like The Blue Sword, which really got my wife into fantasy when she was a teenager, or David Eddings, or one of these things that they're published today. They probably publish as YA books, but back then they just were published however. So it really it depends on the person. If someone likes big historical epics, like they're reading stuff like that because the big historicals are big, then I'm going to give them The Wheel of Time, right? Be like, this is like a historical epic in a world that doesn't exist. And so for my own, I kind of do the same thing. If someone is more literary, I give them Emperor's Soul. If somebody likes, more romance or humor, I'll give them Warbreaker. And if someone likes action adventure or is kind of like, I just like all kinds of things, I'll give them Mistborn because it kind of touches on everything. And if they are masochistic, I'll give them The Way of Kings. Way of Kings is my best work, but it's also the one that kicks you in the face the most, particularly at the beginning. It's like, oh, you want to read this book? Ha ha, bam, 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 bam.